throughout the world, even now, people have seen spiritual orbs. Now, what is an orb? So, spirits are able to transform or form into this energy ball that looks like this, glowy little light. Or, have you ever look at the corner of your eye and all of a sudden you see this little lint floating around? Yeah, we all get those. Similar to that, but imagine it glowing in the light. Like, for example, right now you can see the light from the stand and you can see like a little glim. Imagine that, but just floating around. Well, spirits are able to transform into those energy forms. And on tonight's podcast, that's what we're going to be talking about. Now, before we get into the podcast, hi, my name is Megan. I'm from Fresno. I talk about haunted places, true crimes, urban legends, histories, scary stories, and paranormal videos. And tonight's podcast, we are going to be doing so, but we will be talking about spiritual orbs. Oh, hopefully you guys didn't see that. Just in case, viewer discretion is advised because I have not seen these pictures or videos, but they were sent to me. And I just want to say, disclaimer, but let's get straight into the podcast. Spiritual orbs are basically these energy forms that spirits are able to transform into these little glow-in-the-dark balls, you can say, and they're floating around. Some people claim that it's loved one. There are people who actually claim that it can be demonic, and also even intelligent life forms, like archangels and so on and so forth. And there are colors. People have seen red orbs, green orbs, purple. I think the white one means spiritual energy, and then the yellow one means like a higher being, like an angel or something. And so I wanted to talk about what I saw. This is before I even started the Witch Doctors podcast. I was posting my life vlogs, and there was this one time where I was sitting down doing my nails because I was watching a video, and I was like, oh, I want to do my nails because, Halloween was coming. This happened like 2-3 years ago at my old house, by the way. I was doing my nails, and I remember I picked up a napkin. I put it, wipe my nails off, put it down, and I was talking to the camera, and next thing you know, it just moved. And I said, did that napkin just move? And then I didn't think nothing of it. And then as I continued, it said, it moved again. I went, oh, and I caught it on camera. Okay, now at that same moment in time, or before the moment in time, as I was cleaning my nails, I remember I bent over this way or this way. I was just sitting there, talking to the camera, and all you saw was an orb going. And it went into my closet. Now, I'm going to show you guys a clip.
I want nail colors. It's so cute. I only have like black nail polishers.
I only have like black nail polishes.
Well, told my husband about the video. I showed it to him and he freaked out, and he told my father-in-law as well. And then I also went to go tell my brother-in-law, who told me, and get this, he said a couple days prior, due to the little orbs that passed by, right? Before I showed him the video, he said there was a lady who came and picked him up in an Uber. So he ordered an Uber and he wanted to go see his girlfriend. And when the lady picked him up, she goes, oh, you live here? And he was like, yeah, I live here. Well, come to find out, she told him that she used to live in this house and her husband died in the room. Bruh, I don't know if he passed away in my room or in my father-in-law's room, but the spirit orb went from my room to the closet. So this side is the closet, and it went through the closet to my father-in-law's room. So I don't know if he passed away in that room, but it's just so freaky, the fact that my brother-in-law was told that story by the lady who used to live here before we bought the house. And to this day, I still think about it. I was just like, dude, like, first of all, we saw an orb. Now, I don't live there no more, so I don't know if he's haunting the house. I hope he's not haunting the house, but at that house, we've always seen like apparitions. Like, I've seen shadow people staring at me as I was like about to close the door. Or when I'm laying in bed, I will be, looking around, and then I will see like a shadow figure at the corner of the room, like behind the door. But then when I shine my flashlight over there, there's nobody there. We've always had a weird paranormal experience there, but nothing to the point where it was scary, as in it was going to hurt us. It just felt as if they coexist with us just because they had to. I believe in haunted places. I've had so many paranormal experiences, but within that house, it was nothing evil. It was just more of they lived with us and minded their business, right? But here's the thing. There are times when I'm in the shower. At the house at the time, I had 2 bathrooms, one in the room in the master bedroom, which is my room, and the other one in the, between with the guest bathroom, let's say that. And we don't have a curtain, it's like a glass door. So I will close it. And every time I'm taking a shower, I always felt like there was somebody on the other side of the glass door. Because as I am taking a shower, I can hear someone breathing. Mind you, the stall shower, it echoes, so you can hear. And every time I look at the glass door, it always looked like someone's breathing. You know, when someone goes, like on the glass, and it would just appear and it disappear. Maybe it's the steam from the shower, from the hot water. I don't know. But that's my experience there at the house. But again, it might be haunted, but I've never had any bad experience there. Thank God. You guys, it is hot. Moving on to our next story about orbs. You guys remember when I posted that video of me watching people's haunted, scary videos? And one of them was actually Todd from Wolf Manor. Well, the reason why I'm showing you guys again is because there was orbs coming out of the video. And we're going to watch it together, okay? And for audio listeners, go ahead and go on YouTube and watch the clip. If not, I'm just going to skip it for you guys to the next segment or part that I'm talking, because I don't want you guys to sit there and listen to nothing, But maybe we'll see how it works.
Mary, was that you? Mary, I'm sorry, I was interrupting you. If that was you, could you please turn the flashlight off?
1 orb, 2 orb, 3 orb, 4.
Whoever was messing with Bob's walkie-talkie, turn the flashlight back off, please. Thank you very much. Dude. Welcome to the Haunted Wolf Manor.
How many orbs did you guys see? I saw about 4 or 5. I did see little ones. I don't know if those are, dust particles that happen to reflect through the cameras. And, I've also heard that the reason why also people do not believe in orbs is because they think it's the light from the camera shining onto the dust as it's flying up, like the particles. Now, for that video, I don't know if it was orbs, but to me, it was orbs. I know that orbs have a life of their own. Like if they're flying, just floating, yes, that might be dust or a bug. But when an orb is moving on its own, and you can see like the life force in it. Some people claim they've seen like faces on the orbs, but if you really pay attention to an orb, if it's moving like this, and it starts moving on its own, if you see an orb and it's moving on its own, it might be a bug, but also it looked like it's moving on its own as if it has its own life force. So it might be an orb. Now, what do you guys think about when people say they've seen orbs captured on pictures and videos? It might just be that, like the flash from the camera, but there are those who do believe that it's an orb. Maybe, like, for example, I'm sorry, I'm just thirsty because it's hot. For example, people have taken pictures at a funeral and they've captured orbs on there, and they believe that it's the loved ones that have passed away who came to visit them. Now, I am not here to discredit that experience because we would never know if it really was a past loved one who showed up to pay respect or showed up to give, like, hey, to say their last goodbyes, right? Well, I was on live a couple of days ago and I wanted to talk to people, and then someone brought up about orbs, and that's why we're talking about it on the podcast. Well, someone sent me a picture and told me that he was at a concert for a goth thing back in like a couple years ago, and he actually caught a picture of. Oh, where is it? He sent me a picture and said that he caught a picture of an orb that it looked like to be his ex-wife who had passed away. And I'm gonna show an image here somewhere. Now, to me, it looks like an orb, but also it looks like as if someone was leaning over to the side of him to give him a kiss. Like, He has this picture still physically with him, and he keep it as a cherished memory for his wife that had passed away. I love that. To me, it seems like she showed up and, was like, I'm gonna be in a picture too. I love you. And then just gave him a kiss on the cheek. Now, what do you guys think about it? Drop down a comment and let me know. Do you think it's an orb or was it just a reflection of the light? But even if it wasn't a reflection of the light and it was his wife, this picture would mean a lot to him that of course he's going to keep it. So, I'm pretty sure it's real. Like, why would he keep this picture? It's his wife. Dude, if somebody that passed away and they showed up an orb showed up in a picture, I'm pretty sure you're gonna be like, dude, that's somebody I love and care about. I'm gonna keep the picture. But drop down a comment, let me know what you guys think about that. And this happened in Fresno. So if you're from Fresno, I posted a video on my platforms and asked my viewers and said if you've had caught any pictures or videos of orbs for you to drop down a comment and send them to me. And one of the user named Bella Kitty wrote, yes, I have before. When I went to Portland and did the haunted tour, I captured a few orbs. The live images shows them more though. So I'm gonna put an image here. It looks like an orb to me, but it's more square. I don't know if orbs can be square, but then again, if you really pay attention to the surroundings of the images, there is no way that it's able to, if the camera did take a flash, where would it reflect the light to? Maybe the iron bars, but to me, that can be an orb. But let me know what you guys think, because I would love to hear you guys' thoughts on that. Again, I don't know if this is really an orb, but to me, it can be. And thank you, Bella Kitty, for sending the image. Another user sent a picture of 2 dogs on the ground, and he wrote, it's either a sun reflection or an orb, but he wanted to know what you guys think. And he also wrote, and by the way, the black dog used to be my grandpa's till he died, for background context. So what do you guys think about that? Can it be an orb or the reflection of the light? And thank you, BJ, for sending that. And you guys, do not be mean in the comments. He probably really is sincere about wanting to know if it was an orb. Maybe it was the black dog that had passed away. Again, be sincere. A user from Facebook named Shauna Torres wrote, yes, I do have a video of 2 orbs from my backyard Ring camera. And I asked, what was the backstory? And they wrote, I discovered it while reviewing footages. Had I not reviewed the footage, I would have not seen the orbs. And this is the video. To me, that's an orb. The reason why I say it's an orb is because, again, it has a life force of its own. It's not floating straight. It's more moving on its own. As you can see in the video, it was coming up and then it started curving this way. To me, that's an orb because it has a life force of its own. We do not claim that these can be orbs, but I want to know what you guys think about it. It can be an orb. Maybe not to you, but to me, it's an orb. So drop down a comment and let me know. This one was also sent to me from Facebook by a user named TL Ving. What did you guys think about that? To me, it looked like a spider web that was being blown away by the wind or being carried on by the wind, and it happened to fly in the view of the camera. But let me know what you guys think about that. Off topic, I went to this haunted place in Modesto, California, known as Daydreams and Nightmare Shop, who the owner was Dana Walters. And I asked her, I said, hey, can you tell the difference between an orb and dust? And she says, and I quote, orbs have a life force of its own. Dust would just puff up and just float around, float straight up. And she says, the only way for you to find out if it's a dust or an orb, you dust your feet. As in you're moving your shoes to see. When you're going like this, when you're rubbing your feet on the floor, obviously the dust starts floating up. And you will know it's dust because it's floating straight up. But if it is an orb, it can float straight up, but it starts moving on its own as in it's trying to find a way to get your attention or trying to find a way to move out of the way. Now, within the Daydreams and Nightmares, there was a dressing room that used to be the coroner's room, or I can't remember what it was called, but where they used to drain body fluids. Because a backstory about the Daydreams and Nightmares shop, it used to be a funeral parlor. That's where people used to, be cremated and so on and so forth. Well, she told us in one of the rooms, which was where they used to drain the body fluids, which is now a dressing room, there has been multiple sightings of spiritual energies and this guy who's known as the boot man or something. Now, she was like, you guys can sit in here. She told us to come and sit in there and record everything that's happening. And when we did, you can see so many orbs just moving around.
This is the area that you'll hear things. We could shut you in here and you guys just sit quietly and you'll hear all kinds of things come through on your recording.
Okay.
I don't know if you want to do that. You're more than welcome to.
Okay.
Okay.
Are we okay to
You can sit there, yes.
Okay.
All right.
And Dana says they also caught images of orbs, misty shapes, shadow spots on video, and still images. Now, the difference between dust and an orb, like how would you specify that?
You know, it usually has its own light source, and I like that. When they have their own light source, we get a lot that blink, and that's when I'm like, okay, for sure, that's an orb, And sometimes they'll get bigger, which is kind of cool. A bug's not going to get bigger. Okay, dust doesn't go through walls. So some things are dust, not everything's paranormal. So you have to, debunk it yourself. And that's why I say, if you think you're seeing dust, do your feet on the ground, check.
I never thought
jump.
of it.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many ways to test for that.
And as we were sitting there, I remember I was sitting there and I didn't see the orbs, obviously, but on camera, you can catch it. I was sitting down and I was sitting right here. Miguel was sitting right here. And as I was sitting down, I remember within 4 to 5 minutes later, because we were in there for a good amount of time, I looked down and I can see this shadow or an apparition of a cat or a dog. I can see hair, it was cat hair or a dog hair, but the fur from the pet, the animal. But I couldn't tell if it was a dog or a cat, but I remember it was just there and it looked at me and I looked away and I was just like, okay, I'm tripping. So then I remember I said, Miguel, there's a pet, there's a dog or a cat right there. He didn't see nothing, but I did. You guys, did you guys see that in my eye? That was weird. Like a light just hit my eye or a lens. I don't know. Now, when we were sitting in there, we didn't see no orbs before we saw the orbs in the video. But when we were sitting there, live, we didn't see no orbs floating around us. It was just super quiet. There was nothing happening. We didn't hear nobody. We couldn't even hear the owner or music that's playing inside the building. And we were just sitting there the whole time. I did not see nothing. But as we reviewed the video to post for the podcast, that's when we saw the orbs. And I said, oh no, these were orbs. Because these orbs are not just going up. They were coming straight to the camera. And I was like, oh, those are orbs. Those are orbs. So I'm going to leave everything that we talk about within the description box below. So don't forget to check that out. And back to the topic, I've never seen an orb until that one time when I just told you guys about when I saw the orb in my room. I do believe orbs are real. People have captured them throughout time. Pictures, back in the olden days too. And you just never know. Whether orbs are spiritual beings that came to come see you or to just wander around because, you guys, it's hot. I found out also that the reason why spirits become orbs is because it's less energy for them to move around in their spiritual self. So they turn into these balls and they're able to float around and at free will. Well, not at free will because they pass away. Well, I don't know. Do spirits have free will? Well, because technically they pass away, so they don't have free will, right? A little side note, people claim to see orbs at cemeteries, abandoned buildings, hospitals, even battlefields where, soldiers that had passed away, fought in the war. No disrespect, by the way. The reason why spirits turn into orbs is because they don't want to use all their energy to be just there, so they use it to float and go to where they need to go. I don't know if that is how it really works. I am not a psychic. I don't know how that works, but you guys let me know. Now, before we end the podcast, my question to y'all is, if you've caught orbs on video or in pictures, can this be a loved one that came to visit you when you were taking a picture? Or was it just other spirits that was around at the time and they happened to come and say, hi? Spirits and orbs are the same thing, but they just turn into this form of energy ball that they are able to go from one place to another without using a lot of energy. And from all these videos that we just watched, what did you guys think about it? Do you believe that orbs are real? Or are these just, the camera lights playing tricks on us that created a flash and the camera happened to catch the flash and it looks like an orb or something shiny? And if spirits are able to transform into these energy forms, does that mean they are around us right now as we speak and we have to have a camera to see them, to take a picture of them, to record them? Or are they freely just moving around us and we don't even know? Drop down a comment, let me know. But with that being said, thank you guys for listening and thank you guys for watching, where I'll see you on Monday for audio and Sunday for visual here on YouTube. Blessed be, and please be safe and careful. Now, treat these haunted places with respect because you too one day might be haunting the place. Blessed be everyone. Bye.